India's Home Minister Amit Shah chaired a high-level review meeting on the security scenario in Jammu and Kashmir in New Delhi today. The Home Minister directed agencies to replicate the successes achieved in Kashmir Valley through Area Domination Plan and Zero Terror Plan in the Jammu division. The government is committed to set an example by cracking down on terrorists through innovative means. The Home Minister directed all agencies to work in mission mode and ensure quick response in a coordinated manner. Reiterating zero tolerance policy against terrorism under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister said that the government will leave no stone unturned in rooting out terrorism from Jammu and Kashmir. The meeting was attended by India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, the Lieutenant Governor of J&K Manoj Sinha, Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Pandey, Union Home Secretary, the Director of Intelligence Bureau, senior Army officers including Chief of Army Staff Designate, Lieutenant General Upendra Trivedi, Director General of the Central Armed Paramilitary Forces, Chief Secretary and DGP of J&K, among other senior officers. And we are now joined for analysis by Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain, a former commander of Indian Army's Srinagar 15 Corps. He has a 40-year-long illustrious career, having served in turbulent environment and hotspots, including Jammu and Kashmir. General Hasnain, such a pleasure to have you on News Hour on DD India. It's been a week, we know, since Indian pilgrims were killed in a terror attack in Riyasi in Jammu. Now, PM had done a review meeting of the security situation in the UT on Wednesday. What, in your view, are the challenges in Jammu region that need to be addressed?
Thank you, Aman. Thank you for inviting me for your program. Yes, there have been very serious developments in the last few days in Jammu and Kashmir, and particularly in Jammu. And we've seen the Prime Minister's directions that full spectrum capability is what should be executed by the armed forces, by the security forces. And in today's meeting, the Honorable Home Minister has also again reiterated the aspect of zero terror and replicating the success of what has been achieved in Kashmir. So whatever is happening at the moment is essentially in the Jammu division south of the Pir Panjal. Now the main challenges here, first of all, unlike Kashmir, the focus here has not been so much on the neutralization of the networks which have existed in both Jammu and Kashmir. This is primarily because there was a comparatively lower degree of violence in the Jammu division in the last 15 years, although many sleeper agents, many networks of this kind continue to persist here. But the focus remained on Srinagar, on Kashmir. Now, obviously, it's important to neutralize these various networks. Secondly, infiltration will have to be controlled from the international border, because from the international border it is very comparatively much simpler to infiltrate, reach the road, the main road from Jammu to Pathankot, and then the scope for movement becomes that much more enhanced. There is also the need, because of broken ground, jungle terrain, the Pir Panjal, the stretch from Poonch all the way to Riyasi, which is close to almost 200 kilometers. This entire area needs prophylactic operations to make sure that the various hideouts which exist in these in the mountainous terrain, in the rocky outcrops, are all destroyed and they are not allowed to be used by the terrorists. A very important aspect which we will have to consider in the next month and a half to 2 months is the Amarnath Yatra, which is starting on the 29th of June. Now, this yatra essentially is in Kashmir, but the infrastructure for it, the security for it is all provided from Jammu onwards right up to the holy shrine. This aspect in the Jammu area will also have to be ensured to make sure that there is very, very deep security all along the route of the Amarnath Yatra. Of course, one of the other important aspects is to neutralize the overground workers and to reach out to the Gujar population which exists in this area in the same manner and with the same energy with which the outreach to the people of Jammu of Kashmir had been done in the last 4 or 5 years. I think these are some of the challenges. If addressed, we will be in a far better position to be able to tackle this problem.
Right, General Hasnain, we heard from the government of India. It said that the security situation has improved in the Kashmir Valley and the same should be replicated in the Jammu division as well, which is what you also said. But how was that achieved? How was a significant reduction in terror incidents achieved in the Kashmir Valley? Did the abrogation of Article 370 had a role there too?
You see, Manman, the issue is that the counter-terrorist grid in the Kashmir Valley has traditionally been much stronger. There is a greater presence of the Rashtra Rifles. There are more CRPF units there. The Jammu and Kashmir police is far more, is better deployed, is probably stronger there too. The intelligence grid, the human grid particularly, human intelligence grid, has been very, very energetic all these years. And it has helped us, therefore, to target terrorists over a period of the last 4 or 5 years in particular. In fact, I would go as far back as 2018 when Operation All Out started. And All Out was not just focusing on terrorists. It was a focus on the whole concept of terrorism, all the networks which enable terrorism. This has not obviously been done in the Jammu division because it was not really required at that time. The Jammu division has been quiet over the last 10-15 years, and it's only in the last 2 years in particular that there has been an upsurge here. So obviously we need that kind of an energy which was exhibited in the Kashmir Valley also in this area. The last point on this which is important, there has been a reduction in troop density here over a period of time. Because the terrorist threat here in the 2005 to 2008-10 used to be intense, and we had lots of formations from Eastern Command which had come here at that time. They all have gone back. Recently, some troops from here have been lifted and sent to Ladakh. Although my interaction with the troop commanders on ground tells me that a lot of reinforcements have been sent in here and the grid is absolutely intact. But nevertheless, you need far great synchronization between the Army, the CRPF, the BSF in this case, which is manning the international border, and all the other agencies, because they need to get their act together as much as the manner in which it happened in the Srinagar Valley.
Yes, we'll build on that point in a bit, but building on what you had said in your first answer, the Home Ministry's press release also mentions quote-unquote innovative means to crack down on terrorists. What are some of those that can be deployed in Jammu specifically?
What normally happens in this area is a revisit of historical events. Every 5 to 8 years, almost a repetition of what has happened in the past comes in. But unfortunately, what happens is officials have moved on. People have, who have operated here, who have been very experienced here, have gone on promotions to other places, etc. As a result, institutional memory is usually shot. So we need to ensure this institutional memory is restored. And that is actually virtually an innovative thing. For example, I can tell you that in 2003, we had Operation Sarp Vinash up in the mountains of Pir Panjal in a place called Helkaka, where a large number of terrorists were holed up. And this was a large-scale operation conducted in what is the typical army mode of what is called jungle bashing, which is prophylactic operations in the jungles. And that led to the killing of almost 50 to 60 terrorists on both sides of the Pir Panjal. Now we'll have to look at something like this. To do that, innovative measures were used in 2003, where helipads were constructed in the higher altitude areas so that troops could be sustained there for longer periods. Otherwise, troops have to come down for their logistics over a period of time every 3 or 4 days. To ensure continuation of operations, these helipads were created there and many other means of logistics were also ensured. But these are the kind of innovative things. Of course, human intelligence is the thing which is always something which is necessary, and an outreach to the people through different measures ensures that you have enough human intelligence. Today, you have a lot of technical intelligence which is available, and therefore efforts should be made to garner that also.
Also, General Hasnain, to build on a point that you had made earlier, how crucial is seamless coordination amongst security agencies to plug any slippages? Does that happen routinely? Is technology leveraged for that?
Yes, you see, besides technology, of course, you also have a very fine system in Jammu and Kashmir which has existed for quite some time, and that is the unified command concept. The unified command concept ensures that at different levels, commanders of different forces frequently get together for exchange of intelligence, coordination of their operations which have been going on, and larger understanding of how the situation is. Now, at the highest level, normally you have the unified command sometimes meeting with the visit of the Honorable Home Minister or the Honorable Raksha Mantri to either side of the Pir Panjal, either Jammu or Srinagar, and getting together there, all the commanders coming together. In fact, the meeting which you are seeing as here in Delhi is virtually like a national level unified command. Now, this is replicated right to the bottom, to the level of the unit and the sectors. And this is a very, very effective way of doing it. Besides the technological aspect, of course, the feasibility of employing drones, although there is a great challenge here that there is so much of foliage, so much of broken ground in the Pir Panjal that even penetration, energy penetration into the areas from drones becomes extremely difficult. Satellite coverage is the other thing which is very, very important. These two aspects should be looked into very, very deeply because these are the actual force multipliers as far as technologies are concerned.
General Hasnain, the government release also says that the fight against terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir is in its decisive phase. It says that recent incidents show that terrorism has been forced to shrink from highly organized acts of terrorist violence to a mere proxy war today. We also saw the high voter turnout in J&K recently. Is all of this a major achievement in itself, and do you see India building on this?
You see, the success of the elections is itself a reflection. I have served in Jammu and Kashmir for the better part of the 22 years, and I can tell you that I have seen 5 or 6 elections. We used to be quite satisfied if you got a 20% turnout or 15 to 20% turnout. But this time, a place like Baramulla, which is supposedly in belief by most very, very separatist in its ideology, had a 54, I think a 58% turnout. The average has been 54% turnout, which is I would still say there is scope for even a better turnout in the future, and that's going to happen in the assembly elections. Because traditionally the assembly elections are bread and butter elections. And you will find that efforts by the terrorists may be there, but the people of Kashmir, or people of Jammu and Kashmir themselves resist such efforts. And we will probably witness this happening in the near future. We have also got the Sri Amarnath Yatra starting in the next few days. The success and ensuring an incident-free Yatra is an imperative for all of us, because that demonstrates our capability and our intent very, very clearly to the other side, to those sponsors of proxy war.
Yes, in sum, General Hasnain, for the benefit of the viewers, if you could summarize what should be, according to you, the top 3 priorities for the security agencies, particularly in Jammu region.
See, in the Jammu region particularly, I would say a control and infiltration to the international border, ratcheting up the human intelligence capability by a comprehensive outreach to the Gujar population in the Pir Panjal area, extending right up to Riyasi and beyond. In fact, it should go right up to Patwa, this entire engagement effort. And last of all, the importance of prophylactic operations to displace any terrorist hideouts from where these 25 or 30 terrorists at the moment seem to be functioning. This has been effectively done in the past whenever we have come across such obstacles, when we have found that terrorists are having a heyday, coming out from hideouts in the higher mountains. These mountains forests have always been addressed in the past. That's exactly what needs to be repeated now.
That's a very incisive and productive analysis. Thank you so much, General Hasnain, for joining us on DD India with your views.